Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Gamestah TV. We're bringing you semi-final number 1 of the evening. Probably the only semi-final because we'll be straight into the grand final after this. It is a Valiant eSports going up against 0.1 hit ratio. And for some reason, it's gone back to saying radio. That's not my fault. That's these dodgy things. I updated the thing, and there you go. It's fixed now. So we'll jump straight into the game. My name is Crisis. I'm joined by Biza. How are you doing, Biza?
I'm very well, Crisis. It sounds like a bit of action tonight on the big one.
Oh, it's been an absolute cracker. We had a really tense game between Jam and Molotov that we caught the tail end of. But yeah, it was pretty damn good. But we're into this game. We've got Valiant eSports, who are ranked number 2 in the Oceanic region at the moment, going up against 10% hit ratio, or whatever you want to call them.
0.1 hit ratio. Love it.
And these are complete newcomers. Aura Crowd, Dumbo, and Sure Thing, although we have seen Dumbo before, and I think Dumbo's a little bit of a clan hopper at the moment. He seems to be in a different clan every week.
Oh, well, whatever floats the boat for him. He obviously needs to find a team that wants to have him. Maybe he doesn't work well with others. Who knows, Crisis?
Yeah, maybe he's just, on a little bit of a journey to find himself and what he wants to do in life as he rockets up and misses a deflection there with Graphite 47 now carrying things up. So on the blue side, Valiant eSports, Reva, Schmeevel, and Graphite 47 Bison.
Yes, we're 4 minutes ticking in the clock. First round action here. Schmeevel just having a bit of a play in the pocket. The boys trying to find the momentum, gather their boost, and set up for some really awesome aerial play, especially from the Versatile boys. Not too bad. Reva pushing it to the pocket, over the top of the goal. Lovely, gets pushed out by Dumbo, so a nice clearance from the 0.1 ratio boys. It does go into the attacking half for Versatile. They will try to go, Crisis. This is some tight action at the moment.
Yeah, Sure Thing try to make a goal attempt there, and it was nicely defended by Reva. Reva up into the air, gets a little bit of a curve going on, but the powerful shot that he puts together, haloed by Aura Crow, and cleared away. And, well, we're seeing a lot of switching of sides. Biza at this stage of the game, donuts on the board, but neither of these two teams really controlling the ball as they carry it forward.
Yeah, it's a bit sloppy for the boys, but I think Valiant, I'll say it right now, I've been saying it wrong the whole bloody first 2 minutes of the game, but they've just got to find the momentum. And 0.1, well, they're newcomers, so, Valiant might be having problems with these guys. Never practiced, probably never scrimmed or played with them, so it'll be interesting to see if who's going to get the first goal. Play does get pushed from Schmeevel. He'll see if he can just roll it into the goal. That is the Dumbo pushing it with the back tail as the Crow pushes it up. That's Aura Crow, another clearance from the Schmeevel man, so he's racking them up on the boards for his team.
Up into the air goes Schmeevel, gets a little bit of an angle on. It's more of a centre than a shot on goals, and then it gets knocked up nice and high by the defensive efforts of 10% hit ratio. We've got to figure out a name to call him. Maybe just call him hit ratio.
I think hit ratio will be right.
Yeah, the numbers the confusing thing. Who wants to do maths all the time? Oh, a shot goes begging from Dumbo. Man, that was very, very, very close. It beat all of the defenders, but his aim was just not on. Following Aura Crow now in a beautiful pink car, carrying the ball up. He gets the center on. Oh, the defense is not there. One defender missed it, and the cover had to pick it up. So the ball still sitting in the blue zone. Up into the air goes Schmeevel, though, looking for a nice little combination with his teammates, but it's disrupted. Nicely done by Dumbo, who carries the ball up, looks for a deflection off the back wall, sets it up for Sure Thing, but Sure Thing's target, or just misses the target there.
Graphite pushes up in the air, misses as Schmeevel goes for the push to the pocket. The boys for Valiant need to set this up and put some pressure into their half, because at the moment it's a sloppy ball from them on the behalf. Hit ratio, more of the carry at the moment. They are currently in a defensive zone for them, so Valiant need to go. 55 seconds ticking, shot on board, coming from Graphite, just misses, but the lovely back up from the Reva, the follow-up there, pushing it into the goal mouth. Graphite just on the corner, Crisis. Very tight line, but Reva doing quite well for his team there.
Yeah, really good. Reva anticipating that things might go a little bit awry, and correctly so. Great adjustment, picks up that ball and gets the first point on the board of the best of 3. So it's a best of 3, ladies and gentlemen, all the way through to the grand final, which then becomes a best of 5. So not a lot of games to play to get yourself through to the grand final. Technically, you could get all the way to the grand final just winning 6 games.
It was interesting with the qualifiers, Crisis, on the weekend. So much action. You just felt like you go all day with it. It was really exciting. When you come up to this big one, it's knockout, one-on-one. You don't get much opportunity to try and strike. 3 games, best of 3. It's very tight, isn't it?
Yeah, one real mistake and it's all over. Rover, you've got that opportunity because it's best of 3. It's at least it's not just the one game. A nice
lovely
little
save
halo
by
from
Schmeebel over
Schmeebel.
the top. That was lovely, Crisis.
Yeah, keeping the 1-0, and that was at the death. 0.1 hit ratio. Not quite able to level the scores, and that is 1-0 to the boys of Valiant eSports.
Not bad from 0.1 hit ratio. Dumbo, a bit of work there with some shots, some saves. But the thing is, the boys need to get some goals. What was probably lacking on their behalf was the cross intensity, and probably the pressure into Valiant's half wasn't that much. So if they're going to do anything in this next game, it's got to be that, Crisis.
All right, keep your eyes on the MVP possibilities, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be choosing one at the end of this game. They'll go into the draw for the evening's MVP as the countdown begins, and we head into game number 2 between Valiant eSports and the up-and-coming upstarts. 0.1 hit ratio, or 10% hit ratio, as the case may be. Or 1 out of 10 shots go into goal hit ratio.
Whatever you can come up with, Crisis.
Yeah, Reva with an aerial feathering more than an attempt. Keeps the ball in the orange zone. That's where they want it to be on Valiant eSports. A little bit of a fake there from his teammate Reva with the crossover. Cleared out though by Sure Things, but it's not getting out of the orange zone because Schmeebel comes through. Up into the air goes Reva. If that ball had been left by Dumbo, that would have been another attempt from the boys in blue. But Dumbo was actually there. Across the goal face of the blue team, but very, very fast advisor and no conversion.
First real attempt for this one here from hit ratio. However, they're back in the defense as Valiant push a bit of pressure onto them. About 80% of play has been in their half so far as Aura Crow puts it around the corner. Just missed off by the Dumbo. Just a bit wide. I think there might have been a bit of lag on his behalf, but they just missed out on that. So back into, well, they're actually sitting in the corner at the moment, Crisis. So the boys are just holding on. This very second, Orocro clears out. He does push it on. It's going in for the goals, and it gets pushed over the top. Reva just misses out on that one. A lovely goal from a 10% hit ratio, Crisis.
Yeah, he got in there. He set up the shot and then anticipated the defender coming across and got just a little bit more angle on it, and that's what secured the deal. So they go 1-0 up in the second game of the series. They're 1-0 down in terms of his points. And just like that, out of nowhere, Dumbo gets up onto the wall. Well, sorry, gets up into the air near to the wall, beats Schmeebel, who was coming through, and puts the goal in. Beautifully done. 2-0, Bizer.
They were lacking that in the first game, the aerial play. It was a very ground-driven ball game in the first match. So just to get an aerial off the start, that's a really good play by the boys from 10% hit ratio as a strike comes wide and a clearance from Dumbo, one over the top from the boys at Valiant. So they're just putting a little bit more heat on to the ratio guys. Another fly coming from Orocro. It's on target, but will be pushed out by Reva. Dumbo's sitting there as well. So the ball's just sitting in the middle here, Crisis. The question I've got to put out here is Valiant going to put 2 more goals on the scoreboard, bring it back to a tie and take with 3 minutes to go.
Well, 3 minutes, a lot of time to play. We say that so often here on Gamestah TV when we're covering Rocket League, but it is not to be just then because Dumbo with the halo clears the ball out. Pressure remains on the orange zone. We've got 3 players up at the moment from Valiant eSports, so they're putting everything they can into this. playing like they are 1-0 up in the series, which is exactly what they are. Keeping the ball in the orange zone again, relying on their ability to control it and keep it in the orange zone and not need to fall back. That said, we got 3 players from their team now falling back into their own zone to get the defense on. So Biza, really good traversing of the field from the boys of Valiant right now.
Yeah, lovely play by the boys. Just putting a lot of pressure on as the hit ratio, get it out of the half, going for an attack. Schmevel misses the push out. It goes to the corner. Sure thing's not going to follow it. It's going to give Reaver a chance to push it out. It's probably not good play on his behalf as Reaver will follow it up. Schmevel will follow it up once with a second, but they won't convert as it hits the side crossbar and out back into the defensive half for Valiant eSports. A bit of bouncing around and some nice aerial work from Orocro as he gathers himself back onto the ground. Dumbo goes up. He also clears as well. So a lot of defensive play from the hit ratio boys. It's what they're going to need if they're going to go any further in this match as they're 2 goals up. Maybe with the clear out, he follows up, boosts, and lovely. Once again, another defense from the Orocro. So they're racking it up at the moment, Crisis. Good defense from hit ratio.
Yeah, they've gotten themselves that 2-0 lead and they want to keep it that way. We've had no goals since about the 3-minute mark in this game when that second goal was scored. And right now, the boys from hit ratio just trying to keep the ball away from their goal face and doing pretty good. I mean, that was close, but at the same time, they've been in that situation a couple of times and they've just been very good with their reactions each time. 1 minute remaining and the pressure now starting to mount for Valiant eSports. They're going to try and get a build-up going on. We had 2 players from Valiant kind of contesting against each other for that ball. Now again, 3 players from Valiant in the orange zone. Dangerous play from them as they are now forced to fall back and the counter-attack coming through. This is an opportunity. Oh, Dumbo, he was just a little bit stymied in the goal face and not able to convert. The ball sitting up, and that's one that Orocro finds nice and full hit onto it. Right in the goal face there, Biza. Easy as.
Yeah, Graphite actually hit that back in front of his goal. And let the boys from hit ratio just go in for an easy take there, Crisis.
Oh, well, a mistake that he'll rue. That said, this game is just about over. Goodness me, Sure Thing just pops up and cuts the ball. He almost slices the ball. Look at that, nice little touch. And it floats into the goal. It's 4-0, one-way traffic, Biza in game number 2.
It's you know, the new team, I don't know anything about these guys. Maybe the Twitch chat can inform us of where these guys have come from and why they're doing so well in the big one tonight. They've done 4 goals in the second game. They had nothing in the first game. It'll be interesting to see where they take the third one as the clock ticks down. Dumbo does go for a little bit of a shot down, does miss it. Gruffa will follow up. It's up aerial ball. Reaver will push him for a shot. Maybe a follow-up from Schmevel, and it's in. So the boys from Valiant will pick one up, but that is the game over. Second one, Crisis, and going to 0.1 hit ratio. Sounds about right to the name, picking up 4 goals for that game. We'll go 1-1, and we'll go to a third.
Yeah, they did an excellent play there, and that last little action from Valiant eSports is actually what we'd expect from them, where the 3 players played off of each other, passing the ball one to the other, the cross that came in, and then taken advantage of by the goal scorer, Schmevel, who finally put it away. And we'll be looking for more of that in game number 3 from these 2 teams as we go into the final game of the semi-finals. Next up, it's going to be the grand final. So one of these teams gets to take on whoever has made it through to the grand final.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who goes through the grand final tonight. I'll put my money on Sequential being there. Yeah, you never know. Jam Gaming are playing really good games at the moment. They had over the qualifier, didn't drop a game at all.
Oh, goodness me. We have an upset. It looks like Jam Gaming have knocked Sequential out. 2-0, in fact. And this is kind of the reverse Shoutcasters curse. The last time Sequential didn't make a grand final, we didn't have them on the stream in the earlier rounds. It's kind of like we're going, well, they're the number one ranked team. If we want to get a game, we'll cover them when they get to the grand final. But when is a very capital I if in this case, and they've been knocked out by Jam Gaming.
Yeah, too biased, Crisis. Too biased. You've got to give the top team some type of coverage as the round 3 for this game, semi-final. Valiant eSports taking 0.1 hits ratio, a couple of shots fired, but nothing in resulting. Both teams still deadlock on 0 aerial ball into the defensive half for the hit ratio. Does get pushed out. Now attacking hit ratio sets it up. Dumbo nowhere to be seen as Reaver pushes back out for his team back into the section. Crisis stuck at a deadlock, and this is going to be a hot contested game, this one.
Yeah, so what we've seen in previous games, the ball's setting up. Schmeevel gets the defense there. Well done. And that was because the boys from hit ratio are not playing aggressively. So they've kind of had a couple of times where they've carried the ball up, but they haven't been trying to force it into the back of the net the way that you need to. Now we have Shorthang and Dumbo looking to create something. 3 defenders right now from Valiant eSports falling back, getting the ball out of their zone and into the orange and trying to set up an attack.
Push out by Dumbo. He does clear it for his team as Reaver tries to work the side barrier, misses the ball completely. Guys, if you're in Twitch tonight, we are looking for an MVP for this round, so keep in mind that, and as soon as this finished, we would like to know who is the best player of these 3 rounds. 3 minutes and 15 seconds ticking, attacking for the hit ratio. Boys, the shot from Aura Crow misses and hits the crossbar. Schmeever will clear it. A couple aerials flying for the boys as Valiant get desperate to try and break this deadlock. Reaver taps it back down. Shorthing will clear sideways. Aura Crow will miss it. Another setup from Graphite. And they're bouncing back and forth here, Crisis.
Yeah, Dumbo up on the wall, contesting with Schmeevel for control of the ball. It's back down onto the ground, but still in the orange zone. We're with Aura Crow now, who is going to try and carry the ball up. Does well, combines with Shorthang, but they've kind of stopped in the middle of the field. Dumbo, last man standing, gets the halo out of the attempt from Reaver. And now the ball, a nice cut shot, goes right across the face of the goals. Doesn't find its mark. This is danger. The shots are starting to come now from the boys of Valiant eSports. They're gaining in confidence in their ability to keep the ball out of their own zone. That was a great floating lob from hit ratio that doesn't find the goal yet again from another halo. And our first demo from Graphite 47 onto Dumbo goes through Bizer.
Goes through, but a lovely touch from Reaver. He's having a shot for goal, goes wide as Schmeevel sort of wanted to have a touch into the goal. A clearance will come from the hit ratio boys, but just as it's cleared, it's deflected back into the attacking half. So what we're seeing is a real defensive play from hit ratio. They're not looking to attack, which is a bit odd because they took 4 goals in the last one and they were so aggressive in how they played at the start. Defending was the end game, Crisis.
Yeah, well, they scored 2 goals in 2 minutes. And after that, the floodgates really seemed to open. Well, there was a lull for about 2 minutes after that, and then the floodgates opened. So, yeah, I guess it's a little bit uncharacteristic compared to that second game, but definitely much closer to the first game. I'll tell you what's uncharacteristic. That ball sat up in the air in the midfield for absolute ages with no one from Valiant eSports going for it. It just went almost to the roof and then all the way back down to drop onto the car of Aura Crow with no contest from Valiant eSports. And look, Bizer, it turns out both of these teams are being super cautious. They both want to get through to the grand final.
Deadlock here, 40 seconds left on the clock. The boys are juicing out on the boost very intensely. This is the reason why they're not going too many aerials in the mid section as the 30 seconds comes on the clock. Aura Crow just missing that ball out. A shot coming from Dumbo, clearance from Reaver, and a follow-up from the boys of Graphite. Not going to be to avail as the push-out sends a dangerous cross. from the boys, but they will chill it out. 10 seconds going in Valiant's defensive half. Schmeevel just going to clear it out. We're looking like we're going to go to overtime. Oh, that's dangerous.
Whoa,
as
the ball
Schmeevel pushes
sits
it
down
into
on the ground for a moment there. A shot on goals, and the defense was good, I think, was going to be good, Biza, but nevertheless, we are into overtime, and it is golden point to get to the grand final. We have been here before, ladies and gentlemen, not for the first time, certainly won't be the last time, but one of these teams is going to get through. Hang on, we've got a DC from Riva.
We do too, so it looks like the boys have all stopped. I'm not sure what the rule is. Someone D says, I guess they all stop.
Well, it's overtime, so I guess what the players can actually do is they could actually position the ball in the center. They could take their time, position the ball in the center. What happens when you've got a DC during a round is if both of the teams agree to it, they stop the game, and then they actually restart the game, score the same number of goals as was the situation at the time that the DC occurred, and then they score the last goal to get the tally to where it should be right before the time is met again from when the DC happens. So they get an actual restart right on the correct time. Well, yeah, they're saying...
Yeah, just reading through it. It's a bit interesting. I've never seen this before. Someone disconnects on overtime. Good sportsmanship from the boys. You know, you play any other game, no one, well, I suppose they do wait for it, competitions, but someone drops out, generally you keep going. So it's interesting.
Well, I suppose, look, the thing is it's a golden point, so it doesn't matter what the scores actually have to be. So they could remake the server and get a proper restart and just take it from there. Now, of course, we had donuts on the board anyway, so even the scoreboard will look perfectly normal. So we'll have to see, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll have to see. So, guys, we still are looking for our MVP, and it looks like guys in Twitch chat are nominating themselves. Good games to you, boys. Any shout-outs, any banter, guys, hit us up. You want to plug out social media, Crisis?
Yeah, well, I had a thing on stream there. Just let's get it going again. There you go. Head on over to www.gamestah.com. It's kind of under construction at the moment, so we've got a placeholder site there for you to visit. So pay more attention to following us on Twitter at Gamestah. And all of the casters have got Twitter accounts as well. So if you want to follow us personally, just go through the tweets that Gamestah does and look for who retweets the tweets, because it's usually Gamestah casters that do it.
Can I? I'm just reading something in Twitch chat from I can't even say his name, Moo Topia or something. According to the rules, that they have to do a turtle game. The first one scores wins.
And what exactly is a turtle game?
That's what I really want to know.
So beautiful little action there from.
I know, we're lost players in the server.
Ratio, mate. I don't know if you saw what was on stream, but that was fantastic. A little bit of a tete-a-tete, let's say.
Crisis and Bias, I'll provide some insight on the turtle game for you.
Yeah,
it's where both teams turn their cars upside down and boost their cars around, so the whole game is played with your roof facing the ground and your wheels up here. That is not the way we do decide it. The game should be reset. As you said, it is golden goals, so it doesn't matter whether we have 5 minutes on the clock or overtime. The game will be reset and played fairly to decide the winner.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, thanks for that. Shout out to Claude. I'm going to call it from Caldemic, who I think is probably Cald, who was correcting how I was pronouncing his name all game long.
I think he's been saying cowed, not Claude.
Well, that's exactly it. I've been saying called, and he wants to be called Cald, as opposed to being called. So shout out to Cald.
I can't see the difference.
And what do you mean you can't tell the difference?
I can tell the difference, but it still means the same thing, does it not?
Like you know how you get color blindness.
Yeah.
Where you can't see, certain colors just look like other colors. Do you have some sort of auditory version of that where called and cowed sounds the same to you?
Maybe coming from you, mate.
Oh,
is that Kiwi in the
New
voice?
Zealand accent.
Love it. It's your New Zealand accent that makes called cloud.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, and
Not for me, mate.
a shout out to Claude as well, who I think is probably Storm Claude. Or no, maybe it's not. We called Storm Claude. What is the Facebook Twitter of the South African accent guy? Shout out Mr. Hames for asking who I am. My name is Crisis, and my Twitter is I'm Crisis. So IMCHRISIS. Hey, in fact, I don't actually know why I spelled that because I've got a thing that'll do it for us.
Hey, you're a bit, mate.
There
Guys, you want to get me at Twitter as well? I'm Bizer1989, and I've just recently, I must say, adapted myself to Twitter after having for about 6 years and never using it. Very interesting. So we've got the players joining back in, so we'll be getting going in this golden goal moment very soon, and getting to the grand finale. Big news there, Crisis.
Yeah, the grand final is not going to feature sequential gaming. So there is a possibility that the big one is going to have yet another set of teams, a unique set of teams in the grand final, which we've had a couple of times. We've covered the big one 3-4 weeks. I think this is the fourth big one. And that together with the Monday Night Mayhems, we thought when things started out, Bizer, that we were going to see a kind of situation where we'd have sequential gaming at the top, and week by week they'd have a different challenger trying to topple them off. Well, those power rankings with sequential at the top of the power rankings, their top spot overall is surely going to start getting a little bit wobblier as we have our second grand final out of those 4 weeks. With no sign of sequential gaming. They'll be hurting from that, that's for sure.
Yeah, they'll be hurting, but I still think they'll be on top. Even losing out these the semi to Jam, they'll still be on top.
Wrong, yeah. I think I needed to leave the game and actually rejoin because all the players joined the match and I don't actually see them in the player list. So I'm just going to jump in. They
all joined and left.
Yeah, and they rejoined. So you've got to leave and rejoin, mate. Otherwise, you won't see them.
Right.
And nice of them to wait for us to rejoin, so that's really good. We're all learning the spectator client, ladies and gentlemen. One day we will seem more professional than we are.
Gamestah Radio. Gotta love it.
Putting in the hours. I mean, this is the challenge. You know the reason why I actually got into shoutcasting originally, Bizer, was because I was finding I was spending 2 to 3 hours per night playing computer games. And then at the end of the week, I was going, oh, man, every night, all I've done is play computer games. I've got nothing to show for it because, of course, I've always been shit at computer games. That said, never mind. None of these players are bad at computer games. We are into golden point situation. It's Valiant eSports going up against 0.1 hit ratio. And one of these two teams is going to get a golden point and a golden ticket into the grand final of tonight's big one. And who's it going to be, Bizer? It's anybody's guess.
That's it. It's anyone's guess. It's been interesting how they're going to play it because they're still playing on time. So I suppose they'll just keep clicking through until we get a goal. If it stays deadlock, otherwise, yeah, golden goal. I love it. As the shot does come, and we don't even need to call the action. Smoother will get it. As the play comes from the Reba over the top, some lovely craftsmanship. Reba, he drops in front of the goal, and Smebel speaks for itself, puts it in. That is game over. GGs will go out. That would be Valiant. Even though we do get a countdown, no one will jump at it. And big shout out to 0.1 hit ratio. For newcomers to come through the tournament and do what they did and actually challenge Valiant eSports to a quite interesting tight match, especially going to the overtime. It's really good on them. Let's see whether it'll be really interesting to see if they will feature in the I've gone blank. The ratings coming forward. Yeah, the power rankings. That's it.
Yeah, one of the things that we really need to get together is a chat with the boys on the power ranking committee and find out exactly how it is that they, what are the approaches that they take to new entrants into the scene. whether a new entrance into the Oceanic scene has to feature in a certain number of tournaments before they are considered for power rankings. I mean, you've got to assume that a team that plays in one tournament could possibly actually just disband. So you don't want to give them, a spot high on the power rankings just because they have a good first showing.
No, well, you don't expect them to be at the top of the power rankings. Usually, that will come with a lot of consistency of teams playing in every tournament and actually doing a really good job. So, I was talking about sequential. They're not going to get pushed down just because they're not in the grand finale. I would still see them on the top. They're still the team to beat. Jam Gaming are proving a point that they're one of the stronger teams coming through and improving week by week. They did it in the qualifiers. It was strong, even though Valiant and Sequential were already through. It's just there's a lot of momentum for Jam Gaming at the moment. So those are the guys I can see going further up and then probably challenging Sequential later on in the power rankings to drop them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a couple of minutes with that grand final match that's going to be taking place in just a few moments. Valiant eSports going up against Jam Gaming in the Cyber Gamer Big One here on twitch.tv/GamestahTV1. This is Crisis, Visor, and JP signing up.